Revenue tech and telemetry is all about pipelines, about applying data science, maths and engineering principles into making orders of magnitude improvements in output from CRMs and sales pipelines. So this is a simple picture for a wickedly complex problem. No pipeline I've ever seen looks like that. It's nice and neat and it's nice and symmetrical, which is definitely not the way the pipelines appear in the real world. But for the sake of this illustration, it'll do. So let's divide this pipeline into its three most easily recognizable stages, things that everyone recognizes. So at the top, you've got leads. Those leads turn into opportunities. Opportunities turn into some kind of an offer. That can be a proposal or a quote, and get hung up on the terminology. And eventually, hopefully, there'll be a win. Now then, you multiply your wins by your sales price, and that gets you to your revenue. Nice and simple. So, just before COVID hit in January 2020, leads turned into opportunities at the rate of just under a third. I'm rounding the maths to keep it simple. The same number of opportunities turned into offers, and a little less than a fifth of offers turned into wins, for an end-to-end conversion rate of 1.92%, which is pretty atrocious, but that's what it is. Okay, so that means if you wanted, so let's just to pick a number, 100 wins in a year, or actually in any period of time, but generally a year. So you want 100 wins, that means 500 offers, 1,500 opportunities, 4,500 leads. Year one. Multiply by sales price, gets revenue. Okay, so there are three levers you can pull if you want this to go up. Let's say, just to pick a number, we want it to go up by 15%. All right? Okay, three levers we can pull, and only three, ignoring acquisition, because we're not allowed to acquire. This is organic growth we're talking about. The first lever is your sales price. Yes, you should obviously optimize your sales price, but you can't just lift your sales price by 15%. Tends to have a downward effect on volume. But yes, you should definitely sell it for as much as you can. The second lever is volume, right? If I want 15% more out of this system, I can add 15% to these numbers. But generally, people struggle, particularly to have these two, right? Their pipelines are not full enough as it is. It's not an easy thing to get that required volume rate. But if you can, yeah, well that's great, but that'll be 15% year on year if that's the organic growth you want. So it's 15 and another 15 and another 15. Okay, so the third lever are these, conversions. Now, if I improve that by one, and that one by one, and that one by one, this will go up by 12 without touching anything else. And that is the power of what we call marginal gain theory. The ability for small, sometimes invisible, improvements in components to a system to drive really big improvements in the overall output. All right. Unfortunately, that maths works just as well in reverse. So if I go -1, -1, -1, I'll lose 12. All right. So in a nutshell, that is what telemetry was built to do. To unpack all of this, the complexity that sits inside there, the thousands of pipelines that an organisation can have one for every product, one for every BDM, one for every resale channel, etc., etc. The level of complexity, telemetry is there to unpack it and to say, okay, if you want to improve the output of your system, then do that, that, and that. That's what it does.